Hi, I'm Jason Bergquist. I'm the owner and founder of retirementofyourdreams.com. Today we're going to discuss part 3 of my 3-part video series about how to build your money mindset so that you can create the retirement of your dreams. Specifically, what are you focusing on right now that's preventing you from achieving your financial goals? Now, before I continue, if you missed part 1 or 2, click the link below and get caught up. Today, what we're going to go over are these different teaching points, okay? 1, environment or your family's verbiage. 2, your early programming and how that's affecting your future. 3, what would focusing on abundance do for your retirement? If we haven't met yet, let me introduce myself real quick. I'm Jason Bergquist. I got into this business to help people live the retirement of their dreams. And I've been helping people put together retirement plans since 2000. So I've seen all the ups and downs of this crazy markets that we've seen over these past 23 or so years. My whole goal in life is to help educate people, help them understand how the retirement of their dreams is possible and bring hope back into their lives. I realized this was my calling back in about 2010 while I was in the process of going through a divorce. Here I was at an all-time low financially, and I thought, wait a minute. I've been teaching people these financial concepts and helping them put their financial ships in order, but I wasn't practicing what I preached. So I resolved right then and there that I would start practicing what I preached. Thankfully, this experience has helped me understand your situation a little bit better, your financial situation. Ultimately, I became an independent financial professional and a certified financial fiduciary to ensure I always did what was in the best interest of those I met with. And now I have a team of experts helping me figure out what's best for you. Okay, so part 3 of this 3-part series is the 3 points to go over today: environment, our family verbiage; 2, our early programming, how it's affecting your financial future; and 3, what focusing on abundance will do for your retirement. So let's go on the first one, our environment, our family verbiage. This is very important because if you always heard while you're growing up comments like, how can I afford it? I can't afford it. When will we be able to focus? Focusing on the solutions, right? Focus on what we discussed in step number 2, the lack. Focusing on what we don't have. So focus on how we'll make that happen, not the reasons why we can't. So just that little tweak, right? Now, this has probably been programmed into you. We need to focus on the solutions, how we can make those things possible, not why we can't. So with Pam's story, when we were talking, we really just don't know what we don't know. But Pam had been taught to focus on solutions. So in this scenario, what was her solution? Well, she started looking into it and thought, I need to meet with an expert. I need to talk to somebody who can help me with the things I don't know. Oftentimes I find this to be the case. Now, this is very difficult for our human nature, right? We don't like to admit that we don't know. But my example of this is when you go to the dentist, you go because you have a need, right? And they tell you what's wrong. And then they even might suggest that they need to move you to a different expertise and send you to an orthodontist. Well, we have to just realize that we don't know what we don't know. And you may need to be able to talk with a financial expert or whatever arena that you're looking for to be able to educate yourself. There's so much information out there on the internet. You can Google whatever you want, and you can find the pros and cons on both sides. So again, working with an expert to help you figure out what you don't know, because maybe you don't even know the right questions to ask, but Pam knew that she needed help and she wanted to focus on how to make her goals happen. So she wanted to meet with an expert. And as we went through that, all we did is just educate, help, show, teach, let her read some things on her own if she wanted to, or whatever it is that you would like to do. But that changed her mindset on, I'm looking for those options. And her desire to retire was looking for, how do I do it right now? And that's what she was trying to figure out. So you need to focus on how you're going to have the retirement of your dreams, how to educate yourself on making that happen. Okay, number 2, early programming, how it's affecting your future. What was your program? Was it fear-based? Are you focused on the bad things that happen in life? Maybe that's how your parents were, but that doesn't mean that's how you have to be. Maybe you're starting to realize, as we're saying some of these things, that you were saying them to your kids. I know that I am guilty of that. I've heard the different things that my parents said. Have I then turned around and said the same things to my kids? Sure. But as I've studied money, as I've studied mindset, as I've worked on these things, I realize some of the little tiny things that we say, how they can really affect you and your family. Rather than saying we can't do it, why don't you have a conversation with the kids about why you choose not to do it? I have the ability to do it. I have the funds to do it. I could do it, but I choose to do something different with my funds because of my goals on what I want in the future versus what I want right now. Now, some of those things we do want right now, we do them. But on Pam, she started to change the way she talked about money with her kids and her grandkids. And now she wanted to share with them what she had learned, because as we went through these things, and although Pam had done really, really well with getting things set up for her future, as we talked through them, she really wished that she would have had a better knowledge and had done some things differently. Not that she would have put away more or put away less, even if she put away the exact same amount of money that she had so far in her life, but maybe where she would have put it or what choices she would have made with it so that it gave her a different outcome here in the future. But she was excited to be able to pass on this knowledge to her kids and grandkids so she could affect her future generations. And her posterity would be of benefit to the things that she had learned because she had reached out and she had looked for the expertise to help her with the things that she didn't know. Now, focusing on abundance, what that will do for your retirement. This is important because the choices that you make today and what you focus on now could make or break your retirement years. So Pam took action. She started making decisions based on the knowledge that she had. She put money into the plan that was offered to her at her work. And then she wanted to figure out what her future looked like. She wanted to retire right now versus what she wanted in the moment. Yes, this happened to be the moment that she wanted to retire right now. But even in that conversation, we still had to have the thought process of, what are you going to do 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 or 40 years from now? Well, Pam was able to retire at a young age. I think retiring at 55 is pretty young anyway. Maybe you do or don't, but that's a pretty young age to be able to leave the job, replace the income that was providing for her family, because her mindset was, what do I need to do? How and what could I use and be disciplined with now to be able to make this last forever? So now that she knew it was possible and she had the vision, again, she wanted to provide for herself, for her family, for her wants, for her needs, and be able to be there in person. So their plan in their family was, yes, Pam's husband kept working, but for her, she was able to leave her job, replace that income for her family, for her household, and be able to go do the things that she wanted to do. She was focusing on abundance. Now, spoiler alert, she had in mind what she thought retirement would look like. And as I have met with her since that, she basically said, and I'm going to share this with you because she said, I think a lot of people need to be able to think of this. We do oftentimes think about retirement and being able to go and do and play and golf and start a hobby and travel and spend time on the beach or whatever the case may be. But she said the number one thing, and I won't put words into her mouth, but all but said this through tears, said the number one thing being retired has allowed me to do is it's given me the time and non-schedule, is giving me the chance to be able to help my family where they need it. She did not and could not have anticipated the needs of her kids and grandkids a couple years into being retired. And yes, she did have to put a few of the things that she wanted to do on the back burner because for her, her family took priority. But now she had the time. She did not have to schedule what she needed to schedule. And two, she did work as a nurse in a hospital. And during our conversation and getting her retired, this was before COVID hit. And the number one thing that she said as we just barely met was, thank you so much for getting me out of that environment before COVID hit. How sad, she said, I would have been to where I wouldn't have been able to possibly be around kids or grandkids or certain situations. I would have worked a whole lot more during that time or been exposed or whatever the case may be. But she was so thankful that hindsight being 2020, had no idea what was coming, but she was able to not have to go to work. So again, what we covered, our environment, our family verbiage, what are we saying to ourselves? 2, early programming. How what you're saying to yourself now is affecting your future. 3, what you focus on, how focusing on abundance will be more effective and helpful to you in your retirement. So now that you understand why your money mindset is so important to helping you understand what's preventing you from achieving your financial goals, I want to invite you to request a free retirement of your dreams call. Click on the link below so we can get together, discuss where you're at, get this money mindset going. Start step 1 of 9 in the retirement of your dreams blueprint process. This is completely cost-free to you and help you work with us so we can reduce some of that stress, help you look at and figure out what you don't know. We don't know what we don't know. And we want to be able to provide that. Hold your hand through that process, step by step. So this concludes part 3, where I discuss the importance of money mindset. But this is just step 1 of the 9 steps to retirement of your dreams blueprint. You can discover my blueprint below and how we utilize this 9 steps in this process to help individuals and families to create the retirement of their dreams. Click on my link below, grab a copy of my blueprint. Let's get together. Let's get your money mindset started. This is step 1 of our 9-step process. I look forward to meeting with you in future videos, seeing the other steps. And this is Jason Bergquist signing off, here to empower you to create the retirement of your dreams. I'll meet you soon.